Hello everybody and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you how to do the edit and save any item. As you may have already done this, something which you are seeing right now, searching by description, searching by maximum price, searching by maximum quantity, etc, etc. So what we would like to do now is basically go back to the description and search or list the items, all the items, and then do an edit. Now please remember this: once you move your mouse, hover your mouse on any item, you will see the link at the bottom of the page. If you can see the bottom of the page now, it will appear over here, the link where I am. Let me just move my mouse on this one. So you'll see the link is coming over there, which is localhost and then the port / edit underscore product.php, which is a page it is referring to through the anchor tag, and it is also passing a parameter through it along with its value. So this is not necessary, it is not in a form in the HTML form within the form tag, but this is still considered as a possible get attribute. So when the other page, which is the edit product.php, gets this attribute, gets this variable product underscore id, it will get its value 55. One way is, you have seen this before, that you declare this variable within the form, an input field within the form, and whatever the value of that input field becomes when the user types or selects or indicates a radio button checkbox or select drop down list, whatever is the value, it is passed on to the next page whenever it is submitted to the controller. Now this is another way which we saw in the example when we created the anchor, that product underscore id is also becoming as an input field, and its value is 55 in this case, because my mouse is right now over here, and it will be passed on to the next page, edit product.php, and the next page can get it very much like it gets the values of the input forms. So this one is working with all of us, I believe. I'm just gonna click on any one. Let's say I click on iPhone 6 32 GB. So it opens up the edit page, and the ID was passed 10, the past ID was 10, so it populated over here. Now how does this work? You guys already know, but let me just spend a quick couple of minutes describing this again. So you create a new page, give it the title edit product, and in the PHP tag, which is supposed to be the server side code which runs at the server over here, the server, before sending this page back to the client who requested edit product.php, makes a connection to the database here and asks him, whatever the product ID value it received from the previous form, which is 10 in this case. We just clicked on 10, product ID 10, and then add that ID into the query. The variable ID goes into the query, says select asterisk from products where product ID is equal to this ID, which is the variable we just declared, and its value we set as whatever the product ID was. Now you could also do this product underscore ID to avoid confusion. This is the form attribute coming, the input field coming, product ID, and you just save it as product ID, and pass it on as a product ID to avoid confusion. You could also do that, but I hope you understand. So what I do is, basically I pass it on to the query, select asterisk from products where product ID is equal to 10. It will get the details of the query of that row, product ID 10, which is the 3 columns only we're picking up. Of course, product ID you already know what it is: description, price, and quantity. This while loop is going to work only once, obviously, because there's supposed to be only one row, because product ID is supposed to be unique. Once you get all these 3 things, you save it in your variables in PHP: product description, product price, product quantity, and you populate the text fields, the input text fields, with these variable values. So we declare, whenever we come to the value part, what we do is, within the value part, we start and close the PHP opening tag and PHP closing tag. Within this, we just echo whatever the value is in our variable. So in this case, the product ID is under ID. In this case, the product description is under description. product quantity, and then product price. That's the way to basically display. Now notice there's something very important over here which people tend to miss out. See, for example, the product description is supposed to be text. It's not number. It's supposed to be text, which is string. It's gonna be containing Samsung, Galaxy S10, or Lenovo, or Apple iPhone. So all sorts of text you are expecting over here. But make sure you give the type of the input types very carefully. So if, for example, by mistake I make it number, and even though you're reading this from the database, I'm just gonna save this, but it won't show it to you. So let me just do that again. Google Nexus 128 GB. You see, it read from the database, but it did not populate over here because it is expecting this to be a number. So make sure whatever the type over here is, it should be compatible with what type it is in the database. Because if it's a database, it's string, it should be text over here. If it's a number in the database, it should be number over here also. Some sorts of, I know there is different sorts of number, short int, tiny int, and long ints, but it should be number if it's a number in any sort of number in the database. I'm just going to undo that. Hope you understand. The type should be the same. Now, what about Boolean? So Boolean can have only true or false, right? So in that case, you can have checkboxes or text or radio buttons over here. So you just check if from the database, if that value is 1, then you check that radio button. If it's 0, then you don't check that radio button. I'm going to show that to you in a minute. Let's just save this. So you see this form, what it does is it save underscore changes.php. It saves changes in this page. And what this page is, it's not any flashy HTML over there. It's just a PHP script, a small PHP script which runs an update into the database. So obviously these 4 will also be passed to ID, description, quantity, and price to the next page, which is save underscore changes.php. Now notice one thing. I have disabled changing this over here by marking this as read only. The ID is read only. Why I have done this? Because if the ID has been allotted 8, I want to do changes in description or quantity or prices. Why would I need to change the ID? Because when you mess up with the ID, you necessarily change things in the database which you're not supposed to do, because product ID is supposed to be a unique number with every row. So I've marked it as read only, so it's not allowed to be changed. So let's go to the next page. Obviously when we go to the next page, all these form fields, ID, description, quantity, and price, will be gone over there. So this is my product ID, description, quantity, and price. Make sure ID and names are same. ID, description, disk, quantity, ID is price, name is price. So we submit this to save underscore changes.php. Let's go to save underscore changes. Now there is no HTML head, title, body over here because it's just a simple PHP script. What it does is it connects to the database, and then it gets the values again from the previous form and stores it in its own variables, ID, description, quantity, price. It can be the same variable, then that's okay. Now you populate these inside an update query. So you note from database when you want to change any row from the database, update product, set product ID is equal to, this is the normal format, the normal syntax. Make sure anything which is string or text goes into single quotes. Anything which is not text can be like this, and it's okay. As far as PHP is concerned, you can just set them directly without any quotes. Like ID is a number, price is a number, quantity is a number, and it can go without quote. Description is a string, so it has to go within a quote. Now once this query is prepared, the edit query, obviously it's a string, just run it, MySQL query. Obviously you get give connection and edit query like you've done in select and insert. And once this is successful, if it is successful, it will return true. So if edit underscore result becomes true, then you say okay, item is successfully modified. So you just displayed. Right now this is just a message, string message being prepared. It will not be echoed necessarily. Otherwise, if it's false, if edit result is false, then unable to modify. And in the end, once the script is nearing finish, you say echo message and then close the database connection. So let's try doing that just now. Product ID was A. Let me just refresh this because I changed the type. Google Nexus 128 GB. I'm going to change this to 256 GB, and quantity from 50 to 60, and price from 3500. Let's bring down the price, it's too much expensive right now. So 2999. So remember, what we are changing is product ID 8. So submit, and it says item successfully modified. Okay, let's have a look. Let's just refresh the listproducts.php page. ID number 8. Now you saw it's 256 GB, price is 2999, and quantity is gone up to 60. So our modification does work. Yeah, one more thing I wanted to show you was excuse me, edit underscore product.php. Just a second. Now what I wanted to show you is one more thing what you could do. Like, obviously in this table we don't have any any boolean, but let me just show you what a boolean can be. Let's see if I add one column called shipping and I indicate that it's a boolean. Preview SQL, alter table products, add shipping boolean not null. After this is a wrong query, let's just copy it. It's not necessarily correct, because if we run this it will give us problem. What we want to do is we just want to add one column over here called shipping. So whether it gives free shipping or no, that's only the thing we want to store in the database. So if I run this, I don't think this will work. Yeah, because that alter is not correct. So I just copied that SQL, I'm just pasting it over here. This after is wrong. Okay, boolean not null. Not null means it cannot be null. There should be a default value. Well, we have about 15-20 rows already, which will obviously be null values. So let's just delete this. Alter table products and shipping, which is a boolean value. Okay, let's go and create this. Okay, alhamdulillah, we got this done. Shipping tiny int, it's a boolean, it can only contain 0 or 1 is what we want to do. All these values are, as you can see, null. Now obviously when you create a table, all of the fields should have been thought beforehand, but I'm just doing this to show you how do you handle, in case you don't know, how do you handle the checkboxes or radio buttons. So if the values over here are 0, you do not check that. If it is 1, you check, mark that checked, and also take user input based. If the user has checked it, then mark over here save 1, if not then save 0. This is what basically you will be developing in the query, and also this is very much closely related to your exam also. So let's go back to the excuse me, PHPs, and let's just also have something over here. So my edit products page. In this edit products page, what I want to do is I want to add I want to add one label and 2 radio buttons against it. Let me just show you how does it work. Let's go back to my pages. Shipping, a label, and then a radio button free shipping, another radio button charged. So it's not, in this case it's free shipping, in this case it's charged shipping. So what we did, we created a column in the database. Obviously you will do it in the beginning when you create the database, all the columns together, but just to display this to you, how do you handle it? You have a shipping label, and then you have input radio called free shipping, and you mark it as checked by default when the page starts. Another input radio, and you don't mark it checked by default, and it's called charged. So ID is free, and in this case the ID is not free, and obviously their name should be the same, free shipping, free shipping. Now what we do is, when we move forward, we should record whatever the value is in the database. So if it is 0, then we mark it as checked. If it is not 0, then we don't mark it as checked. This is what from the PHP we should do. So and when we click on any radio button, free shipping or charge, and we click on submit, then it should go to the database also. So let's also try doing that. Yeah, okay. So this part of the script should be uh, this part should be in the PHP. So I say okay PHP and it ends over here, and we say dollar free shipping equal to dollar my row, and I check what is the value over there in my map. It's called shipping, the column name shipping. So whatever the value is over there, we call it, we save it under free shipping, and we say if dollar free shipping is equal to 1, then go checked. Okay, else it's not checked. The other one is not checked by default, so there's no need for a PHP script over there anyway. So let's just close this, go check, and make sure the line is terminated properly. Now let's see how does this work. In this case, let's open this. Now you see none of them are checked. None of them are checked because it went to the database and it saw that free shipping was not 1, so it did not check it and charged automatically. There's no free shipping, there's no PHP script over there anyway, so it's not checked. But when initially in the add product, obviously we also ought to have this over there. The user should have indicated any of its preference and submit. So now we would have seen this over there already. So let's, for the sake of product ID 1, let's go and change it in the database and see how it works. So we go to the database product ID 1 and we say okay, where's the database? So we want to modify this one, which is product underscore ID 1. So we go to database, we say update products set shipping is equal to 1, where product underscore ID is equal to 1. Okay. Yes, product ID is 1, so its shipping is we indicated that the shipping is free. So we did that manually. The user should have done that from the add product. So let's just go back and run this. ID is 1. You see free shipping. Free shipping is now automatically selected. So this is how, it's a small script, but you should understand. I hope you understand this already, because this is part of the PHP script and it is invoking the database and it is just checking from the database whether the value is free or not, the shipping is free or not. Anyway, so now when we submit this into the save changes, the save changes also should be updating the query and say shipping is equal to, now we need to get this over here also, shipping is equal to dollar underscore get what was the name under edit product, free shipping. Free shipping, and when you save it, obviously you should have some value also. So in this case, what's the value? The value is 1, because this is free shipping. It is checked. If it is uh, Free shipping, the value is 1, and if it is not free, let's give it the value of 0. This is what it is supposed to go and save in the database. So let's go and save changes. Free shipping is equal to shipping, but did we say what was the, it was free shipping, I believe. Let's just copy and paste free shipping. So either it is this one or this one. Anyway, it will be free shipping because only whichever is selected is going to be submitted. So free shipping, and save it as shipping column, shipping variable. Shipping is equal to dollar. Shipping, make sure the syntax is correct. It is exactly the same name, where product ID is equal to this. And just a second, the last one should not have any comma. Yeah, the last one should not have any comma. Just before where, you should not have a comma. So just before the where, whatever value you're setting, there's no comma. The others have a comma, like this one has a comma, this one has a comma, comma, comma. Comma means indicating that there's one more field I want to set. Up till now you have set all fields where product ID is equal to ID. So let's just do this. Go back, let's pick up number 4, iPhone 5 white 32 GB. Obviously nothing is selected, but I indicate free shipping and submit, and it says item successfully modified. So it was ID is equal to 4. Let's go back and list products.php, search, ID is 4, and it is obviously free shipping. Okay, and obviously when you go back to the database, and ID 4 is null right now because it's not refreshed. Let's just refresh this again, and you'll find this one as 4. Let's mark any one of these as 0. I'm sure you can do, you understand this. Go to 5, iPhone 5C white 50 or 7, Samsung Galaxy S7 128 GB, mark it as charged, submit, and go back to map, and you see this one is not free shipping. So that's how you handle database savings of radio buttons and checkboxes. Now selects also. I wanted to give you that as challenge, but I just wanted to be fair with you. I expect, I mean, to be fair with myself, I expect that with the knowledge of database, the courses you have done already, and the knowledge of PHP, what we have been doing now, you would be able to populate a select field. Let's say we have a under edit product. So just a second. Let's say we have a select input box over here. Select drop down. So how do we do that? Select, and under select there should be options. So option. So we can get ID is equal to 1 and value is equal to, let's say, rock, and we display here rock. Okay, and then we have another option here. We can obviously copy and paste this also. This one is Dubai, and this shows as Dubai. Let's go back and just want to show this over here. Rock and Dubai. So our select is appearing. It should only come as in a new line. So just have a BR here. And possibly a label here should help us. What I'm showing you is how to populate a select, and also how to save in the database. I'll leave it to you because it's something very obvious. So I create a label and I say select emirate. Remember, all the special characters should go into the from the character codes. Select emirate, rack, Dubai. Now, how many emirates there are? 7, right? So, what if I have a list of countries? Will I have so much long select? What if I have a list of country codes, a list of shipping codes, list of product codes, etc. In your case, in one assignment also you have a table which you have to populate through options, which I believe you've already done. Also in the exam also there will be a table which you have to cross-reference between the. So how do you do cross-referencing between these tables? So what we want to do is we want to put these options into the table. So let's create quickly a database table right now, and I'm going to show you uh, how to populate that into the select. So I have one table over here called products, and I want to create one more table here, and let's click here, new table name, and I say okay, Emirates, and only 2 columns I want. One is ID, one is name, or Emirates. So this one is int and this one is obviously character. So let's put this over here and save. One ID and one emirate, and Emirates is the table. Okay, save it in the valid length. Okay, the Ras Al Khaimah, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. So let's have 20 maximum. Save, and then we have a new table over here called Emirates, capital, and let's do an insert here. Value is 1. The ID value is 1. Emirate is Ras Al Khaimah. And then insert again 2, and it's Dubai, then 3, sorry, I'm just gonna run one, delete from Emirates where ID is equal to 3. Okay, insert 3, and I say Ajman. Okay, insert 4, Al Quwain. Insert 5, Abu Dhabi. Insert 6, Sharjah. Insert 7, call it Fujairah. So you've got all Emirates now into the database. Let's just browse it, and you've got all 7 Emirates. But how to populate? Now this is how you link 2 tables. So this is IDs and these are the Emirate. So if you come back to brackets and you see, now I have one over here, select. I want to modify this or populate this with a database query. So what I should be doing is, at this point you will do this again. The whole PHP you need to run again, and there's a, just a second, the whole PHP you have to run again, and there's a select. Okay, and based on this select you will keep on populating, and this thing should come inside. So select started just before it, select ends at the end of it, and inside should be options based on, let me just put that under this comment, based on the while loop it should be options. So you excuse me, there's no variable you're getting from the previous. I've just copied and pasted to be a little more quicker, create DB connection, select asterisk from uh, Emirates, and there's no where clause because you want to pull out everything and just display over here whatever the user selects. You go into database and save. Select asterisk from Emirates, and that's your query. And while my row MySQL fetch row result, it starts here, ends here. And what are you gonna get? You're gonna get only two columns, ID and emirate. So let's do this. ID is equal to my row and call it ID, exactly the same, and then emirate, and then emirates capital because this is capital over here, exactly the same, although variable can be different name. So for the sake of simplicity, we are keeping it same names. So ID and emirate. So what you want to do is populate it inside here. So what I'm doing is there's going to be only one statement within the while, like this. You'll do this echo option ID is equal to this ID should be your $ID, and value is equal to, this should be your dollar emirate, and this should also be your dollar emirate. So you have ID, value, and emirate. So you're just creating this as your PHP. So dollar ID is equal to value, option ID is ID, value is emirate, and then over here you echo separately, echo emirate, and then echo option, and obviously you should terminate this. Now that's gonna be a little closely watched. Option ID, oh, okay, so it is closing this over here, that's why it is coming up like this. So option ID is equal to this, emirates is this, because PHP populates this automatically. Remember, in the query also we are not doing that. So this is option ID, value is equal to this, and in that case you can turn this one also off, and this one also, this one also. Option ID is ID, value is equal to emirate, and then you display emirate, and then you close the option. So this can be out of this also, only one closing. So it starts here and ends here, and then in the end it just ends. So let's just run this and try. Okay, so let's go back, refresh. We've got all the table over here. So that's how you connect tables together. Based on this, you make a selection. Ajman has a certain ID based on a database, and then you also do a save of that. Okay, so how is that saved? Obviously, because this is within the form ends after this, and you need to give it a name. So if you need to save this in the database, obviously you need to give it select ID is equal to preferred emirate or emirate, and name is emirate. Now when you save this, the value whatever has been selected will go into the database. So that's how you connect these two. So what you do is, basically, if you have a database which is having a table, let's say products table, uh, and this is shipping, right? So there's another table called another column over here, column number 6, called emirate. So that's how you are connecting. So you write here emirate ID, which is at number 6. Emirate ID will be a number, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. If it's 7, it indicates a value, an emirate ID, which is in the emirates table, which is let's just browse this emirates table. Ras Al Khaimah, Dubai, Ajman, Al Quwain, Fujairah, whatever it is. So we get that all the values and with the ID. So if it's 7, it means it's Fujairah. If it's 6, it means Sharjah. So where are these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 corresponding IDs? It is serving as a foreign key to this database products. So let's just add this quickly, and I just wanted to show you this over here. A new column, and it's an emirate int, and preview SQL. Alter, again this is wrong. After something is missing, you just copy and paste this and remove alter. So and run an SQL. Yes. So all table products, add emirate int. Yes, it can be int. No problem. It can be null. So int, and I press go. So it is now into emirate. So when it comes up, you want to save it. You know what you need to do. Into the edit product, let's go to this page, list products.php, search over here. Now obviously in the list, in the table, very few things are coming up, but when you open it, edit, you will see everything. Shipping, emirate also. Now you select some emirate and you save. What you need to do is, this is the ID emirate and this is the name emirate, and based on whatever has been selected will be passed on to the database. So let's do that quickly, which is ID is emirate, name is emirate, and it goes, this will be passed on ID and value to the next one. So what happens is, I go to the save changes, and I also create a variable here called shipping is equal to $_get, and the name of the select is emirate. So I say over here emirate. Okay, so let's not just save it in the database yet. Let's just print out what is coming up. Echo $shipping. Okay, so Khema I select as Abu Dhabi, submit. So ABU. Okay, so there's an error in the query obviously because we did not update this one. ABU Sharjah. Okay, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, So when they space, it overwrites. Okay, so let's say echo $shipping, and then also echo BR Ras Al Khaimah Dubai. Okay, anyway, just making sure that it is getting it. It does seem it is getting it. So now you just remove it. It is getting it over here based on whatever we select. What it should get is the ID over here. So the values, yeah, this is something which you should know. The value is edit product. Value should also be $ID, because what you're displaying is over here is what you're displaying to the user, and what he's saying, but what you want to save in the database is the ID. So let's just do this. Ajman submit 1. Okay, now Pujara, this should be 7. Okay, now we talk. Now we can save this into the database very easily.